How's it going, YouTube and all the ISL fans out there? This is Ty523. Welcome you to week two uh, matchup between the Calgary Flamethrowers and Manaphy City. I am here with the coach of the Calgary Flamethrowers, Hayden.
What's going on?
And so we're going to talk about, as we'll start the matchup here in a second, we're going to talk about why he brought certain minds, what his mind went through, certain movesets, stuff like that, and just talk about what happened in this match and get it from a coach perspective. So first, discuss each one of the mons you brought.
The first mon I knew I had to bring was Chansey because it can carry Stealth Rocks and Thunder Wave, and Thunder Wave was going to be huge against his team because it's very fast. And then Stealth Rocks, obviously, for mons like Talonflame and Salamence. And then I ran Seismic Toss just so Alakazam would not set up a sub while Chansey was out there, because Chansey can't really do anything to Alakazam other than that. And then Soft Boil for recovery. And then I ran Chlorophyll Venusaur so it could outspeed Greninja in the sun as kind of like, I don't know if he would expect that or not. And then Choice Scoff Latias for basically the Mega Lopunny, so it
Choice
could
what?
outspeed it.
Choice what?
Choice Scarf Latias.
I
My
was
bad.
like, Choice
Yeah.
scoffed? What was scoffed?
Yeah, but that was basically just to outspeed the Mega Lopunny. Or Mega Alakazam, my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, it's a different matchup.
Uh, yeah, and it ran things like Ice Beam for coverage and Psychic. Basically, I just needed just a straightforward Choice Scarf set this week, and then I had Healing Wish for if Charizard got too low, because if he set up rocks, I could just go out into Latias, set up a Healing Wish, get that back up, and Charizard could sweep if I needed it to late game after I got rid of a few mons that outsped it, or paralyzed some mons that outsped it. And then I ran, obviously, the Charizard with standard Flamethrower solar power for just hitting hard in the sun. Then I ran Ancient Power for uh, basically just the Talonflame if we got in a one-on-one match.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ran Earthquake for Tentacruel. I ran a hasty nature so it wouldn't.
So you wouldn't have that lowered attack nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just in case, once again, the one-on-one with Tentacruel. And then Jellicent just as a really good defensive wall with 2 recovers and Pain Split and recover. Had leftovers, Will-O-Wisp to basically get on any physical attackers that I needed to cripple. And then Stab Scald. And then my last mon I brought was Crawdont, which could come in Revenge Kill with Aqua Jet, or could possibly sweep if I set up a Dragon Dance or 2 on the right mon. So yeah, that's basically the team I brought.
Yeah. It seems like you've pretty much got a good team for you here. So, looking at his team that he brought the Greninja, the Mega Alakazam, the Tentacruel, the Slurpuff, the Salamence, and the Florges. Just looking at the team before the even match started, what was the biggest threat to you at this point?
Before even we get into that, I was very surprised that I did not see Talonflame on his team, and I was very surprised he brought 2 fairies on his team because of Venusaur. And Talonflame just because he could get rid of probably Latias and I think Crawdont, and then he could sweep with Brave Bird. Yeah, but on his team that he brought, I was scared of 3 things. I was scared of Greninja having like Expert Belt instead of like a choice item, and a fighting move. Because even though we banned the ORAS move tutors, he's still got power up punch, I believe, which would be very scary on Chansey. And
Mm-hmm.
then Mega Alakazam, if he got up a sub, could probably sweep my team if I didn't have Choice Scarf Latias and Aqua Jet on Crawdont, and then Slurpuff because of Belly Drum.
Yeah, definitely. Slurpuff is a lot is mon that a lot of people sleep on. They don't really think about that. Oh, it does get belly drum. It has a decent attack stat. I think it's like base 90. I think. Could be
Yeah, and
wrong.
once that gets doubled and or not doubled, maxed all the way out, and then once with the unburdened speed boost, that could really just hurt my team. It's very because that even outspeeds Venusaur in the sun because I was running zero speed investment.
And Slurpuff has a base 80 attack. So I mean, with one uh belly drum up, that's gonna be a problem. It'll really wreck through a lot of people's
Yeah.
teams. So with that, let's go ahead and get into your match. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play on here real quick.
Okay.
Alright, so you let off with the Chansey, and he let off with the Florges.
Okay. Right here, I was thinking I did not care what he did to me because Chansey could wall it, and I really wanted Stealth Rocks up. And I think after he saw that I was going to stay in, I was like, okay, he's going to switch out. I'm going to go ahead and Thunder Wave anything that comes in. And then,
He brought in the Alakazam, and you paralyze
yeah,
that, which sort of doesn't really matter when he's like in before he Mega Evolves. After Mega Evolves, he's
yeah,
now slow.
yeah. And then I think as soon as he got parried, I was like, okay, I'm going to go into Charizard just in case he's running knockoff, which he is. And then since now I outspeed, once I Mega Evolve, it Oko's with Flamethrower, so I was like, I'm going to go for Solar Beam. It hits basically everything on his team hard. And then obviously he brought this out, so I went into Latias to basically bait out. I think it was the Greninja I was trying to bait out,
Mm-hmm.
but he brought out the Florges anyways. So I
Which
was just
still is
gonna,
not a bad matchup. You can, like you
yeah,
did, you Sludge Bombed it, which
yeah, I
does
was
a lot
just
of
gonna
damage.
keep Sludge Bombing until the sun ran out. And once he kept synthesizing, whatever you want to call it, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay in here. And I got the poison, which it's good, but it didn't really matter too much. It's going to matter in a few turns. Spoilers alert! But right here, I went for Will-O-Wisp. This is a huge turn right here because this is going to go into later that you'll see. But on the Florges to take the Will-O-Wisp so he wouldn't get burned, and then right here, Scald's going to burn. And
That's just horrible luck on his part.
yeah, but this is also good on my part because I know he's going to heal Bell. So I'm going to go straight out into Charizard, set up the sun, and this time I'm going to Flamethrower and hit anything hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he stays in, predicting, I guess, the Solar Beam.
And that was a.
And
I think he was running. I mean, even if that was a special Florges, I'm not 100% sure, but that crit might have mattered. Might have. Oh,
no, I did the calcs with what I was running. That definitely wouldn't have mattered. And right here, I just Thunder Waved again because crippling Greninja or Mega Alakazam would be huge right now. And this time I'm going to stay in Seismic Toss so he doesn't get up the sub. And then here's the big thing right here. This is why the Will-O-Wisp going on the Florges and not on the Salamence is huge. Because I Thunderwave him and notice the Lumberry goes off. I did not notice that the first time for some reason. So I just Seismic Toss. I was like, how am I getting outsped? Oh, wait, Chansey slow. That has to be it. So I Seismic Tossed again here. And then right here, I realized, oh,
you,
wait, he's not.
you're actually a little bit of ahead on the video. Mine's you just now hit the seismic toss after the first T wave right away, and you just went for another seismic toss after you roosted.
Oh, well, I'll just be a little ahead, I guess. But yeah, I didn't realize he was parried, and then I had to get him paralyzed again before I could switch Chansey back out. And then, are you at where Jellicent comes in?
You just switched into Jellicent. He went for Dragon Claw. Just got fully paralleled after you scalded it.
Okay, I'll pause for a few seconds. But right here, what I was doing, as I was trying to sack off Jellicent this entire time. I didn't care how many Dragon Dances he got up. I didn't care about that. But he would not attack me once he got below 50%. And I noticed that. So I just kept scalding and scalding away. I didn't care how many Dragon Dances he got up. I didn't care how many Dragon Claws Jellicent was taken. I was just trying to find a way to get Latias in. And so,
He
yeah,
got hacked so many times in this. He got paralyzed so many times.
yeah, but I was really just trying to sack this thing off, and
Hmm
it didn't matter really in the long run. But right here, he gets under 38%,
You're still a little bit ahead,
and
so hold on a second.
okay,
He just got fully paralyzed after you pain split and I went for scald. Now he's at 38%.
okay, he's at 38%. I'm gonna switch into Latias, and if he stays in, go for Ice Beam, and he did. So that there's a Salamence gone, and I don't think he knew I was scarfed yet. So he brought in the Alakazam. I just Ice Beamed again, got that off, and then the Slurpuff comes in, and right here, I knew that Ice Beam was going to get it below half health, so I went for Ice Beam. It got it to 49%. I got the freeze, which is super unlucky for him,
Hmm
but it didn't matter in the long run because he didn't get the belly drum up, and he couldn't OHKO. He couldn't even like 2-hit or 3-hit most of my mons.
We'll see.
So
Like you just took out the with Charizard, but we'll see. The difference is though that if he got that Belladrum off, the Burden boost would have made him outspeed your Latias, which a play rough would have killed you.
yeah, that's why I got the. That's why I stayed in the Ice Beam.
Hmm
And I think, are you watching Venusaur take Greninja down?
Yeah, he just used Soul Beam and Greninja's out of the way now.
Yeah, but the rest of this doesn't really matter. I just didn't like how he protected against Latias against the Tentacruel when literally the game was already over.
And
But
when he protected against the Venusaur.
oh no, later. I'm talking about later.
Oh, you still have, yeah, it hasn't got to that point yet. I mean,
Yeah, I'm a few turns behind too, but yeah, but I was gonna go back to the Slurpuff point, and I knew I had to stay in because of what I mentioned earlier. If he got a belly drum up and the unburden boost, he would sweep my team.
hmm
Now, I wasn't going for the freeze, but I knew that Ice Beam would get it below half health, so he wouldn't get the belly drum up. So even after the unburden boost, he might have taken out my Latias with a play rough, but then I could go out to literally most of my Mons and then OHKO it with what I was running on the sets.
Yeah, because the Crawdot could have came in and just Aqua Jetted would have bring it down really low, and then even if you're running the Jellicent, which was at 57.2%, I don't know if he could have really, unless he was running a Dark type move or a Grass type move, being a defensive Jellicent that you were running, I don't think he would have been able to OHKO it even at the Belly Drum max
I
out.
think I ran it before the match, a knockoff from a like a +0 or whatever you want to call it. Slurpuff does about 60% on average, I think, to the Jellicent I was running.
But that was because that was was that with knocking off the item?
Yes.
Yeah, so if he ran knockoff, then yeah, that would have probably OHKO'd your Jellicent. But I mean, getting one Aqua Jet off on it might have taken it out due to the low HP that it was at. I think an Aqua Jet might have taken it out if it didn't have enough defenses investment in it.
The Aqua Jet Life Orb adaptability, Aqua Jet would have done like 80% to the Slurpuff, so that really wasn't the problem.
Yeah, no. So he might have
It
taken out the Latias, but then you, like you said, like we're saying, you could have just brought in the Crawdon very next turn and
Yeah,
took it
it
out.
basically turned at that point. It turned a 5-0 into a 6-0
Hmm
because he sacked off the Alakazam, or didn't really sack off. I don't know if he knew I was scarfed. I think that's why he brought that in, thinking I would switch or something, or leave it in for just to sack it off or
Like
something.
there was one point where when he roosted with Salamence, when he was below 38%, and then you brought in Latias and Ice Beam to the next turn. If he didn't roost and he went for Dragon Claw, that would have been very detrimental, and that might have changed the aspects of the game because then the ice beam wouldn't have gone off on the Slurpuff, then the Slurpuff probably could have gotten the Velodrome off safely, and it could have made it a small differential. But I just think with the team that you brought compared to the team that he brought, I think no matter what, you had the better chance of winning this match.
Yeah.
So, with that, that was the end of that battle. You won with a 6-0, and next week, I don't remember who you're going against. I think you're going
I'm going against Bob.
Bob. Okay.
He is the coach of the Atlanta Shocks, I believe.
Yes. Yes, he is. So, how do you feel about going into that match?
He definitely has a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff that can break through my wall core, but I also have uh, at least one counter to his whole team, and I think there's actually only like 5 Mons that I think he'll bring, and then it's kind of a rotation.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely going to be. I think it's going to be probably my toughest match so far this year because I had so many things to check Cameron's Mons and then kind of misplayed week 1. But
I mean, you're now 1-1, so it's not a horrible way to start out the season. I mean, you definitely had a higher differential, higher record than some people in the league, but you also have some. You're right in the middle. 1-1 you can work with, and who knows? Maybe you can win out the rest of the season and become 9-1. You never know.
let's not get carried away though.
Well, with that, I just want to thank everyone for coming out to watch this episode. Please hit that like button if you could, and we will see you in the next video.